All right. ViteConf, it's time for the second, for some of you, the third and the last panel of this conference. Are you ready? You still have energy. Come on. Yes. Wonderful. And I'm very happy to not be alone on the stage. I want to introduce you once again, Sarah Rainsberg, everybody.
All right. The final event. And got more than Alex, got more than me on this stage. We're going to have a lot of people on the stage, and we need representation from you on the stage. We need questions. Go into the ViteConf Discord, type your questions. What do you want to know about the future of the web? We've got the best minds here. They're going to figure it out in about 23 minutes, right?
Of course. Let's get him up on stage, right? Here are our panelists, everybody. Give them a welcome. We got the creator of Vite Avoid Zero Avenue. We got Jessica Janiuk from the Angular team. We got Matt Biilmann, the CEO of Netlify. And fresh from Las Vegas, from ViteConf, flying all the way over here, Linsley, everybody, the creator of Tanstack. How is everybody feeling about, well, a long distance flight and a bit of jet lag and 2 days of conference for us? And you also had quite a conference day. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Yeah, a lot better than yesterday.
Me too, yeah. Especially after I've given my talk.
True.
Yeah.
And now we have to talk about the future of web development over here. So let's start with the elephant in the room, so to say. We all heard about the big news. And maybe just like one short sentence about the latest news on Vite+. We can start over here straight away with you, Evan. How do you feel about the release? You already mentioned a little bit.
Yeah, we are met with, so interestingly, it's very, like we've talked to companies that are saying, okay, look, this is interesting, we want to use it, and then the typical cynical Hacker News comments, like complaining JavaScript has another tool chain, but yeah, all good.
True.
For me, I think I'm just upset I have to have another subscription on top of Disney Plus, and that is what this is, right?
Yes, not a streaming service.
On your personal bill, though.
No, I think it's very exciting. I've already seen conversations in the Angular Slack about it, so I think there's a lot of interest.
I think it's really good news. I think it's a really good path to monetize Vite in a way that's fully aligned with being an open source project. And I know there's always some pushback when there's like features that are not open source offered on top. But in many ways, I think it's a healthier path than the alternative. It's some separate cloud-hosted service for the open source project that typically in some way will lead you to like have to use that service if you use the open source project. And I think this model is sort of more aligned with like Evan is actually going to sell something that's truly sort of built on the actual open source project, but what's sellable is sort of more what's relevant not to the individual developer that wants to use the project, but to large companies that have different types of problems. And I think it's a really healthy step, and I'm optimistic.
Thank you.
I was on the plane when you released it, but I felt something change. You know, it woke me up, and I was like, wow, the world's going to be better. No, but a lot of what Matt just said, like, it's exciting to see a path forward for Void Zero, and a path that is exciting nonetheless for a lot of us. So mostly just excited to see where it goes.
Thank you.
And yeah, Jessica, go ahead if you want to.
I mean, on the whole streaming service front, if you did decide you wanted to do one, you could go with YouTube.
Oh. Yeah, that deserves applause for sure. And actually, we just announced our panelists, but there is a big surprise for at least some of you who may have not read the announcement. We got someone else right here from the other side of the globe, remotely. Everybody on the big screen a little bit, please give a warm welcome for the creator of Solid, Ryan Carniato, everybody. There he is.
What is Ryan looking at?
Us, I suppose.
He can see the audience, right?
Yes,
Okay.
audience, the panel, We see him down there, up here. We
How many fingers am I holding out, Ryan?
Oh, I think
I
Ryan.
got,
Yeah, we hear you. Perfect.
okay, good.
So, Ryan, do you also have a take on the V Plus news? I know you'll cover that in your stream in a bit, so there might be some interesting takes there later on.
I'm still playing catch up. Oh wow, the echo is going to be brutal. But basically, I was sleeping, so I missed the big announcement, unfortunately. But I think I have an idea from what you guys have been saying. I think it's really cool, in general, with the Void Zero effort to be able to make these projects sustainable. Start from open source, put funding into it, and then give us the tools that we really need.
All right, should we get to the next question? From the audience.
Sure, I'm looking through and I see a couple thumbs up for looking at other mature languages like PHP, Python, Ruby. What do you think is still missing from JavaScript, Node.js?
I think the premise is questionable. Like, how do you define PHP being more mature than JavaScript? I think different
We
languages
miss weird Israeli error messages suddenly popping up from my old memories of PHP.
What do they make jokes about? I mean, sense of humor might be more mature, less mature.
people, like PHP developers are more used to people making fun of their language.
But we are JavaScript developers. I don't know. All I know language like, oh, JavaScript, come on, get your shit together.
Honestly, I don't know. Like,
Multi-threading?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, true concurrency management. But I mean, it doesn't mean that it can't come later. But yeah, I think that's probably what most like back-end developers and languages would hold over our heads most quickly. Be like, come on, like you can't really do this that easy.
yeah, that's actually quite relevant to a problem we're tackling. Is we do want, like when Jim talked about running JS plugins in Rust build tools, right? A lot of the power of Rust comes from the parallelization, and we're looking for ways to actually also parallelize the execution of the JS plugins, and it's been challenging. So yeah, if the language itself provides an easier way of doing that, directly, that would save us a lot of trouble hacking around Node.js and runtime in order to do that.
I worry that people associate this stuff too much with the features. I think a lot of the reason JS and maturity perspective exists is actually because JS being mostly on the client has set us in a position where we're often closest to the customer. And if you know anything about being closest to the customer, you're going to be at the point of the most change, most volatility. And I think that actually dictates more about where JS sits than any specific feature of the language.
Makes sense. Thanks for the input here. We'll start with a very easy question after these two bit harder ones. What do you think is the hardest unsolved problem in web development right now?
Naming.
Once again?
Naming.
Streaming?
Naming.
Oh, naming. Naming feels always hard.
Yeah, especially considering every good name has been taken on NPM.
By a crypto company, as we know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean,
Dynamic UI?
to me, it's not so much a question of like big unsolved problems, right? Like I think largely building web apps is not in itself some like weird unsolved problems, right? Like it's pretty well known how we build them. I think if there's something that's been missing in the last year, it's maybe like innovation in what kind of applications we actually build, right? Like, and not so much a problem like the current state of like what most companies build is actually like pretty well solved by now. I think in some ways it's oversolved in the sense that there's like more complexity in this than there had to be, and we could take complexity out of it and simplify it. But I think at the same time, in the last decade or so, if you look at, especially the last 5 years or so, right? I think if you look at things we built in 2020 and things we built in 2025, I think in the most cases there's almost zero sort of like real jumps in like what kind of experiences we build. Probably the things that have jumped that people are pointing to are things like linear, and I think the whole effort around local first and sync engines is really interesting in like allowing us to build a new kind of experiences. And then I think the other piece that we're starting to see is sort of through interactive 3D experiences in the browser that are starting to have the ability to be really impressive, but where there it still feels like it's also like a really hard skill that you need to have very specialized teams to do, and it's not like so solved, like how do we actually just go do that?
You said a lot of what I wanted to say, but I do have one more thing I was thinking of is I think one of the biggest problems we haven't solved is being content with where we are. I feel like I don't think many engineers actually reach this level. They graduate here, but we especially in the web have this issue where we're just never fully satisfied, and that's both a blessing and a curse. And I don't know if that's ever going to get solved, but it seems like once we reach a new achievement, we're just either something comes along like AI and they're like we have to keep moving forward, or we get there and it's like a week or two goes by and we're like, okay, you know what? I don't like to sit still. Let's find the next difficult problem to solve, which is both what keeps me very excited and engaged about the web. But is also one of the biggest challenges we create for ourselves.
I think that's a really good point. The other thing I came to think of is just like, okay, if we look at the web, it's like completely dominated on the desktop, but what we still haven't solved is probably making the web really popular on mobile devices.
The question that I've been wondering is like, with all these AI apps that people are interacting with, I wonder if the next generation is going to be like, you use websites? Kind of in the same way, like, we might be like, a web forum, why would you use that? So like, the web will certainly still be around, but I think like it's going to have to change to evolve to the landscape of how people actually are going to be consuming information in the future.
So do you all think it's realistic that we don't browse websites anymore, but maybe just give a prompt in the URL bar and get the content we would like to see with some hallucination or not?
I'm going to say something that's going to make Ken C. Dodds really happy, but you would say like the agent or the chatbot is the new browser to some extent. And
Yeah.
I half of me resents that, but there's also some truth to that, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that, right? Like I think for the first time, the user agent aspect of the web is really coming true, right? Like we're really actually going to have agents using our stuff, and it's going to like take us a lot back to sort of some of the initial ideas of user agents, right? Like that we built for the web in a way where we can have many different types of consumers of what we build. At the same time, I also think like the core concept of the web, of a URL that you can share and link to and that have some authority, is actually still going to be really important, like because we're not all individuals sitting with an agent. We also need like shared references. We need to be able to tell someone else, hey, this is what this company says about something, or this is what this person published today, and so on, right? Like, and I think people sometimes forget that shared space between humans that the web is extremely good at filling.
So what you're saying is routers will still be important.
Totally. Keep routing.
Sweet.
We're routing for you, so to say. I had to get in the puns.
Approved.
Okay, that's super interesting. I think, Daniel, what you mentioned in the beginning with like the agent or the chatbot is the new browser. I hope I won't have to like, I don't know, interact with a chatbot all day. I feel that experience is a bit miserable, but there might be something else that we'll see that is beyond that. There's always something beyond that. The question is when and how.
I wonder, we look at our mobile phones now and we see the little phone icon, and that's an acronym to a lot of younger people. Is the image of a browser going to be like, oh, what is that? To younger kids.
Like a floppy disk and a save icon?
Yeah, it's like the save icon.
So they'll see a globe and they'll be like, why do they have the planet here?
Like the rotary phone.
I really hope not, right? Because I think the browser is a really special invention. I remember in one event I was at, I heard Toby described it as if someone released the browser today and it didn't exist, they would not be able to get it into any of the app stores because it's too powerful, right? And it's too uncontrolled, right? And I think that's also what makes the browser and the web such an amazing platform, right? That it is this incredibly powerful programming platform that's not owned by any company, and that sort of managed to make its way to every single device and space. So I think we should remember that when we're talking about the future, it's not something that has already happened, right? It's something that we all can influence and build towards. And I think we should all think about how do we make sure that the future is not one where that browser is gone and where that shared platform we all own is gone. And we should think about what is it we need to do on the web to make it so engaging and valuable that we can keep it alive and make it an even bigger part of the future.
Collectively, we've all built more chatbots in the browser than OpenAI and all the other. So we are shaping the future, and we're building it in the browser.
Totally, and even what we can see from where we sit as a deployment platform is also that what's actually happening right now is that many more people are building an immensely increased amount of stuff on the web right now, right? We're just seeing an explosion of people building stuff on the web, way more than we've seen before.
And a lot of stuff AI is building is also web-based.
True that.
And when it becomes really fast to build stuff, the other thing that happens is that the web is kind of the only platform that can keep up with that speed, right? If you can build an app with a prompt, and then you gotta wait 2 days to get it approved in an app store, that's completely out of whack, right? You want to be able to just put it on a URL and have a great router and ship it somewhere.
Well, Evan Bacon just showed us how to deploy in 10 minutes at ViteConf, so maybe, but I agree.
To test flight, right? If you get people to you're not right. The web has this ability, right?
Oh yeah, instant deployability is
to the
that's
whole
addictive.
of humanity.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, sorry.
You're looking very serious, a bit not sure, not
You need
sure.
to speak up more. Come on.
No, I didn't want to interrupt because there's a delay, so I'm probably going to cut someone off.
That's fine, just
and
do it,
there's a lot
just do it.
There's a lot of really good conversation around here. See, as an engineer first primarily, I keep on listening to these conferences and all these panels about AI, and as someone who's not as familiar with AI as the others, I often I often try and find something concrete that I can work off of that. I always need something that I can actually build, and there's a lot of unknowns right now. I think it's really interesting because what we have going on right now with AI is getting more and more people into building in general, right? It's never been more accessible as it is today. And people with different walks of life, different experiencing, which is what makes the web important, like what Matt was getting at. And it also is amazing, So I don't know, I've just been trying to think here if there's a way that we can move past the fact that we tend to, overestimate technology in the short term and underestimate in the long term, get past kind of the fear that is kind of plaguing us right now. I feel like a lot of things are, over-indexing on the capabilities of AI today, worried about what has the best model or, suggesting things, crazy things like, no APIs in the future should ever change. To me, that's insane. Change has to come with something as monumental as this. So I don't know, I'm hoping we can start fleshing out some concrete goals here, goals ambitious and worthy for the capability, maybe it's personalization, it's hard to scale, stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to where these things go next and how we can put practical application to them.
Big notes.
Well, I think that leads nicely to another question we've got here, which is asking the panel, which of the upcoming web standards are you most excited for?
Or some proposals that are not in stage 4 yet.
Language proposals count?
Yeah.
Import deferred?
We see some fans in the crowd, it's great. Upvote the issue.
Yeah, I mean, also a bit relevant to Vue is like we've been waiting on like the native scope CSS landing for quite a while because that'll just simplify our scope CSS implementation so much. But as far as I know, Firefox is still like behind on this, so we're kind of like, But yeah, that's one thing I've been waiting on for so long. Yeah.
I put an issue up on the CSS working group that I'd like to see land, but it probably never will, which is the equivalent of starting styles, but for exiting styles. I think that would be really, really nice because having to track DOM nodes as they leave is really annoying on the framework side. That'd be nice, but it'll never happen.
Never say never. 20 years later.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing that I'm kind of excited about that's sort of vaguely connected to the whole AI thing is how strong the browser has also started to become at you being able to build things outside of the actual domain standards, right? Like things like WebGL, WebAssembly, all of these building blocks that means that we can actually now construct a lot of primitives ourselves directly in the browser that we like before had to have in the browser. And traditionally, like one of the big challenges with all of that has been like that it fundamentally can break accessibility, right? Like if you suddenly go beyond the DOM. And I think AI is going to make that not really a big concern as long as AI can interact with the project, right? Like because I think a lot of like assistive devices will essentially be replaced with AI, right? Like if you're visually impaired, will you rather like tap through stuff in a screen reader or just like have an audio conversation with ChatGPT about like the website you're interacting with? And I think that can actually lead to this ability to get wilder on the web and say like, let's just like rebuild crazy stuff from scratch directly in like WebAssembly and WebGL and Canvas and use these technologies that's kind of like quietly been like built up in the browser, but we could only use for like very specific things and potentially build whole new interactive patterns and experiment a lot more than we could before.
I actually have two specific ones for me. Async context.
Yes.
I think we need, especially in the browser, I know we have async local storage and backend, but I think we need the ability to pass stuff over async context. And the other one that I'd like to see, which is just kind of personal thing perhaps, is inline modules. I just love the idea conceptually that I can do whatever I want within one file. I know this is more of a sugar, you can get this by doing stuff with Vite or whatnot, but it'd be cool actually if we had support for these sort of language features.
Good ones here. Now, unfortunately, we only have a couple minutes left, but we want to make sure we get the most answers from our panelists out here. So we'll do a little quick fire round. We have a couple questions, easy yes or no, or just like one word, maximum one sentence answer, quick. Don't think too much about it, but a little bit. And we just go one round from my side over to Sarah. Ryan goes after Tana, then Sarah drops out the next question, Ryan starts, and then Tanner, and so on. We'll figure it out. The first one is Tailwind CSS, yes or no?
Yes. Why not?
Meh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I've got one thing you'd change in JavaScript.
No pressure?
Quick, right?
Oh
Like,
man, pass. I can't.
Everything.
Signals now.
Type of null equals something other than object.
Hell yeah.
Va.
The null and undefined thing is the fact there's two. Just make one.
All right, great. Then, easy one, tabs or spaces.
I don't actually care, but
That counts.
default to spaces. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Let the formatter do its thing. I don't care.
Same. Whatever.
Prettier
Plot code.
or something.
Aux format wins out.
I press the tab key.
Tabs is the correct answer. I love spaces still. I'm sorry.
If Rich was here, that would be a different conversation.
Sure, we had to adjust it a little bit.
That'd be rich coming from him.
all right. Favorite website? What's your favorite website?
Yeah. Okay, we can start with Evan again, and then Ryan has a bit more time.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Vite.dev.
I don't know. Zombocom?
Someone there.
It's a meme site from the 90s.
Apps.netlify.com.
Yes, tanstack.com. No, I don't have to feel bad on this thing. Solid.com.
Ryan, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, thank you. So, yeah, solidjs.com, of course.
that was the easy one. Okay, and then the last one on the list here. If you have one, your favorite AI model.
Starting from Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, if you have one, go ahead.
Oh, crazy delay. Sorry. Favorite AI model? I don't know. I'm pretty in the past on this stuff. I still only use Copilot these days.
Oh, that kind people are happy about it. Some. All right, Tanner.
Just whatever's there. I also just whatever it is, max mode.
I mean, somewhere between like Sonnet 4.5 and whatever powered Bing when it's funny.
How about the doctor from Star Trek Voyager? I don't know.
All right, all right.
I recently just played around with Sonnet 4.5. I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Like objective, like just I use whatever it feels like right at hand because they're good at kind of different things. Yeah.
Okay, let's just do one more because of 1 quick minute and fits very well. Will AI take our jobs?
Of course not. Well, I guess like for tool builders, like for personally, I'm just speaking for my personally, but I think there will be some jobs being like automated away, which is just the way it is. But this is a quick fire.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go.
What he said.
Yeah, very similar. It'll change jobs.
Our is very relative term.
Maybe not yours, right?
Depends who.
But look at the art. No, I'm kidding.
It will never take my job.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, that's what we all tell ourselves. No, yeah, I don't know. I'm so far from using AI for what I do. I'm not. I can't picture it actually replacing what I'm doing.
No one can replace you, Ryan.
Aw.
I think these are lovely last words. Give it up for our panelists, everybody. Thank you so much to Sarah Rainsberger. Also give it up for her one more time, please.